Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a topic that is just universally important, but let's be real, notoriously misunderstood: life insurance. We're going to use the consumer framework from Golden Shield Life Insurance as our guide today. Over the next few minutes, we're going to give you a complete step-by-step overview on exactly how to buy life insurance. We'll look at how using a modern brokerage can save you some serious time and money, and how it guarantees you've got someone who is always available for your beneficiaries when it comes to claim filing. We'll even touch on things like built-in policy convertibility. So let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this with a pretty stark quote. 30 days later, a serious neck injury changed my income, my home, and the future I had planned. That cautionary tale comes directly from Aaron Polk, the founder of Golden Shield. See, he actually turned down coverage early on because he just didn't fully understand its value. He thought of it as this, unnecessary complication instead of a real pillar of financial planning. And then, literally a month later, a severe injury derailed absolutely everything. It's a harsh reminder of how quickly life pivots, right? But that personal crisis actually became the whole driving force behind creating a framework that takes the confusing fine print of the insurance industry and translates it into clear, actionable steps for everyday people.
Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The value of protection. 2. The brokerage advantage. 3. Navigating policy options. And 4. Support when it matters.
Section 1. The value of protection. $75 million. To put that into perspective, that is the staggering protection gap of women in the United States who currently remain uninsured. And what makes this so incredibly frustrating from a consumer standpoint is that women actually qualify for rates up to 25% lower than men. Yet, millions of grandmothers, mothers, and daughters are walking around with this invisible vulnerability. This isn't just some abstract statistic. It represents families who could be totally exposed to a sudden income loss, immediate debt transfers, and the complete derailment of long-term plans, like paying for a kid's college. Acknowledging that this massive gap exists, well, that's the very first step to actually closing it.
Section 2. The brokerage advantage.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core of the problem. The old, traditional way of shopping for coverage is honestly just exhausting. You go to one single insurance carrier at a time, you fill out a mountain of repetitive paperwork, get a quote, and then you just kind of hope that specific company is giving you a decent deal. But advanced routing technology completely changes the game. By instantly scanning and comparing over 130 top-rated carriers, a brokerage does all that heavy lifting for you. You see, every single carrier grades health metrics and lifestyle risks a little differently, so the exact same person can get wildly different prices depending on who they ask. Using this brokerage model systematically shops the entire market, which, as you can imagine, saves you a massive amount of time and ensures you're actually getting the most cost-effective rate possible.
So, the actual process of buying this coverage has been totally reimagined to respect your time. First, the tech shops those top-rated providers to narrow things down. Then you work directly with a licensed agent to customize the fine print, making sure the policy perfectly matches your budget, with absolutely zero surprises down the line. And finally, you apply. What's truly a game changer here is that modern digital underwriting allows for instant online approvals. Qualified applicants can get a binding decision in just minutes, entirely online, completely bypassing all those old-school headaches, like scheduling nurse visits, coordinating lab work, or getting your blood drawn.
Section 3. Navigating policy options.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it breaks down your toolkit. When building your safety net, you aren't just buying generic insurance, you're picking a specific tool for a specific job. A licensed broker helps tailor this for you, including setting up crucial options for policy convertibility, meaning if your budget grows later on, you have the flexibility to switch a temporary policy over to a permanent one. Term life gives you highly affordable, straightforward income replacement for a set amount of time, perfect for covering large temporary things like a 30-year mortgage. Whole life, on the other hand, offers permanent, forever protection that slowly builds cash value over time. And then we have indexed universal life, or IUL, which links cash value to market growth while giving you highly flexible living benefits. Different policies serve entirely different life stages, right? Knowing how to match the right tool to the right problem is exactly how you optimize your spending.
Let's look at a real-world example of this in action. Abigail is a truck driver and a small business owner who needed a very specialized safety net. By working with a broker who actually understood the mechanics of her unique income and lifestyle, she was matched with an indexed universal life policy. This definitely wasn't a one-size-fits-all thing. It gave her 3 distinct layers of financial security all at once: steady cash value growth, guaranteed death benefits for her family, and critical living benefits she could tap into if she were to suffer a severe illness that kept her off the road. And thanks to that streamlined digital application we talked about, she secured this comprehensive protection the very same day.
Then there's Mike, a radio technician. He had actually been turned away by several direct-to-consumer agencies because he'd recently had heart surgery. Honestly, when you get an automatic rejection like that, you might think your options are completely gone. But this highlights the sheer utility of the brokerage advantage. Because the platform had access to over 130 carriers, plus the expertise to navigate really complex health histories, they were able to pivot to carriers that actually specialize in high-risk medical profiles. They got Mike's same-day protection with, get this, absolutely no medical exam required. It's definitive proof that having a broad network can open doors that single carriers just keep locked tight.
Section 4. Support when it matters. Take Sue as another great example. She's a retiree who wanted to guarantee she wouldn't leave any sudden financial burden on her family. But just as importantly, she wanted to make sure her beneficiary protection was structured efficiently. A massive and honestly often overlooked advantage of life insurance is that when properly structured by a pro, the payout goes directly to your named loved ones. It completely bypasses the absolute legal nightmare of probate court. Probate can mean months of delays, crazy expensive lawyer fees, and having a family's private assets scrutinized in public. By setting up a dedicated final expense policy, Sue bypassed all of that, ensuring her family had immediate, private access to funds. Total peace of mind.
So the crucial point is this. When tragedy actually strikes, the absolute last thing a grieving family should ever have to deal with is fighting an intimidating, faceless insurance carrier. That is the true, lasting value of having a broker. Instead of your beneficiaries trying to navigate a confusing maze of automated phone menus during their darkest hour, the brokerage steps in and handles the heavy lifting. They proactively gather all the required medical and legal documents. They work directly with the carrier on your family's behalf to expedite that payout, but most importantly, they provide a familiar, local, and deeply empathetic person to call. Someone who is always available to ensure the claim filing is handled quickly, correctly, and smoothly. So looking at the modern insurance landscape, what does all of this comprehensive coverage truly represent today? Basically, it's an invisible layer of defense. I mean, historically, a physical shield blocked physical attacks, right? Well, today, a properly structured policy blocks catastrophic financial ruin. It provides your loved ones with a guaranteed, tax-free death benefit to keep them afloat. And through those modern living benefits we mentioned, it can even offer you early, penalty-free access to your own payout if you survive a serious medical event like a stroke, cancer, or a heart attack. It ensures you can focus entirely on your recovery instead of worrying about impending medical bankruptcy.
It is a profoundly powerful system, but of course, it only works if you take the deliberate step to put it in place. The technology exists to scan the market instantly, saving you time and money. The rapid no-exam options are out there, and the dedicated local brokers are standing by to guide your family through the fine print, the convertibility options, and eventually the claims process itself. The infrastructure is fully built and waiting. The only question left to ask yourself is this: your shield is ready. Are you? Thanks so much for exploring this with me today, and I really hope this overview gives you the clarity you need to efficiently secure your family's financial future.